Good afternoon everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well and had a good weekend last weekend as well, as we smashing through the week already now into May the 4th as well, so May the 4th be with you, those of you who are Star Wars fans amongst us. And we're back in the ATR here at Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi airport for a flight all the way down to Koh Samui, then onwards to Phuket. And Siam Flights Bangkok is looking absolutely spectacular. Don't know who that is, but they've parked incredibly close. They might need to move. Hope you're all well anyway. It appears... Oh, there we go. So the Nightbot was a little bit slow getting that command in for us all. But here we go. Delta Tango, good morning. Steve as well. Rab, David, living on a player. Delta Tango. Ian, good evening to you down in Australia. Zato, hello. Matthew as well. Gary. Steve, Jay, Zato. Yeah, loads of channel members in the live chat. Great to have you all tuning in again. I hope you've had a good week anyway, at least. And looking forwards to this two-sector flights. Hello, Chris, across the pond. Steve's got the wheelie whirl of doom. Check your internet settings, of course. We are oh my god, we are streaming the sim in 2K 60 frames per second out onto YouTube, but it may or may not. It's dependent upon whether or not you've got the internet capacity to kind of run the stream. There's like 3 of us all on one stand. Madness. Complardai, can you recommend GSX Pro? Absolutely yes. It is fantastic, really, really good. And Gary's asking, is this a study level aircraft? I'm going to pan away until whoever that is sorts it out. Adrian, hello to you. And here's Bangkok in 4K, by the way, folks. This is spectacular. It was already a beautiful, beautiful scenery. No worries, Ian. It was already an absolutely spectacular piece of scenery, and the links for it are in the description down below. It is payware, but this part of the world, there aren't enough really stunning pieces of scenery. This is one of those, though, that is worth every single penny. You can see inside already from the distance here. We've explored this in the past, though. We don't have much time to begin with at the start of the stream, but actually... let's just make the most of this scenery before we depart, because we aren't returning here on the other end of the service today. We're going to punch in. I want to show you guys in 2K 60. Look at that. It is absolutely stunning. Spectacular bit of scenery there by Siam Flight. Gary Evans says, does 4K monitors help with graphics? Yeah, so because I'm running the sim on 4K my side, we've been able to basically... Oops, too far. We've been able to... Where do I want to go? That's the scenery, that's downstairs. Yeah, I'm able to run the sim in 4K and have some stunning views. I mean, look at that. The complexity of the building and everything really shines as well. I think there was a bit of an inside here too. Yeah, look at that. There's loads to see here on this scenery. Very complex. Remarkably nice. Anyway, let's whiz back. We have lots to do. Flying the ATR72-600 today, as we've already explained, in our 2-sector service with Bangkok Air, following a real-world flight as well. We've set the time to the real time that it would depart local time to Bangkok, which is around to 1 o'clock-ish. And we are loading the last couple of hunters as well. Living on a player, absolutely, yeah. But here we go. Almost ready anyway, but we've got a lot of prep to do inside the flight deck. So if we dive in here, all the folks at the back boarding, we have got the ground power switched on at the moment, but we need to initiate or begin our flight plan. So flight plan inits, route, and we're going VTBS to VTSM. to head down to Koh Samui, the freeware Koh Samui airport scenery by MKVY, the chap who made that freeware Gatwick, which we all really enjoyed at the beginning of MSFS, the early days. Lots of people still enjoying that scenery as well. And with the weather, where's that Nightbot thing in the chat? So winds 190 degrees at 12 knots, QNH1005. So we're going to be departing 19 right on the Regios 3 Golf departure, which is there. So we're going to execute that. Discontinuity to VTSM. VTSM, just pulling up the METAR here. Winds to 090 at 4. So we've got a crosswind. We're going to do the RNAV approach runway 15, but this does have a slight issue with it. Not 15, 17. In fact, there's a VOR DME approach. What does that look like? I'm going to add that to the route so I can have a little look. Tepad. Upnet. We'll go with the RNAV approach just in case. So 17, no transitions like so. And then we need to fill out the gap. So Regios to the entry point to the RNAV approach. Hello Alberta, welcome, welcome. Mike Oliver as well, good morning. Gary. So our routing today, this is why there's a lot of desperation for, what do you call it, SimBrief integration here. But, if I'm going to put these waypoints in manually, you're going to see why the ATR72 does not need SimBrief integration. So we've got our flight plan filed and planned via SimBrief. And after Regios, we then join the Alpha 464 airway all the way down to Upnet, which sounds long, but actually there are 2 waypoints, Dirac and Tuspu. That is it. That is all there is. So we're going to go Regios, next waypoint, Dirac, Delta, Indio, Romeo, Alpha, X-ray, next waypoint. And it's going to be 11 degrees north, 100 degrees east. That one. Execute. Ah, it's already gone wrong. Pile of poo. Okay, so we're going to do it this way instead, as an alternative if it does get confused. Dirac. D-I-R-A-X. There is an update coming soon to the ATR. You'll be pleased to know. There we go. And then Tuspu. And it's going to fix some of this flight planning mess. We'll clear that. Execute. That's it. Flight planning complete. That is all it is. Gary, it's a great aircraft. So, on the plan page, we can flick across on the format. We can basically keep an eye on the screen as I press next. It's going to cycle through the waypoints, and we could just have a little look here to make sure Regios, Dirac, Tuspu, and then the RNAV. Look at that. Oh yes, an Upnet. Tuspu Upnet. There we go. So we just amended that on the top of your screen. You saw the yellow line, the temporary flight plan. And we can see it's there, followed by routing into the airports. That's all there is. It's nice and simple, really. Transition altitude here. We have a look at Navigraph. Should be on your screen now. I'm tweaking and testing some differences and changes to my Stream Deck. Hopefully that is visible at the click of a button without me having to cycle around other things. So we're going to begin here on stand. Hello Wesley, welcome. Been with us for 27 months. What a whopper. Long taxi actually to 19 right. So we're going to do a single engine taxi. The bit of a unique specialism for the ATR. All the way around the airport to depart 19 right. Then the Regios 3 Golf departure is going to have us initially fly runway heading to Roven, max 220 knots, no issue in this, it climbs at 170. And then heading south towards Samba, at or below 9,000 by Bravo Sierra 905, Casni, and then down to Regios, like so. And then you can see here, all the way down to Regios, which is that one there, we've only got those 2 waypoints that we mentioned, so Dirac, Tuspu, and then Upnep. Before we connect the dots in for the RNAV approach, which will look more like that. But we'll go through that in the cruise. We won't worry about that just yet. We've got a little way to go yet. And we're tracking the flight on Volanta, of course, as well. Let's get hotel mode sorted out. Are we still loading bags? Oh, we are. Cool. So we'll be looking to the ground guy. We'll be putting the prop brake on to get indications that he's ready and he's happy as well for us to start engine 2 in hotel mode. And we've got the pump set to run as well, so working down. Pump 2's on, wing lights on. We're not going for beacon at the moment because I want to see if New Sky, it's just updated, I want to see if it is actually going to deduct points, but actually I won't risk it. I can't remember if it's in this version that I've got or if it's only in the beta. So that's on, prop brakes on and guarded. And blue for cyan. We're going to go start A and B, first flight of the day. That's all good. Engine 2 starts. What does hotel mode mean, Valley? Have a look at my tutorial episode 5 for the ATR72. It discusses hotel mode. It's basically running the engine without spinning the propeller. There's a whole swathe of ATR tutorials, so if you guys want to get started on the aeroplane, I've created an entire playlist dedicated to this add-on, this specific add-on in the sim to help you get started. Episode 1 through to 6 covers a full flight, and then there's a couple of shorter episodes towards the end that look at tail strikes and hotel mode so far. It is incredibly easy to tail strike this aeroplane, even more so than the 737-900, believe it or not. Substantially easier to tail strike than that. So that's it. They're on. So DC-10 Gen 2 is showing faulting at the moment. So if we remove the wild power and external power, DC Gen 2's fault goes off, which means we're feeding the power from that. Aircraft ground power removed. They've gone already. So we can close le door. And we need to look at performance as well. So we're going to set that. We've got it all set in the MCDU at the moment. If we go to perf. No, it's not. It is on. Menu, FMS, weights. So we've already put in our fuel, our gross weight, its zero fuel weight calculations, and our reserve fuel as well. Having clicked that, we can make sure that the trim matches at 1. Although there is a lot of feedback actually saying that you need to trim down more because of the way that the aeroplane kind of falsely departs, falsely lifts off from the ground. What's the transition here? Let me dig that out as well. It's 11,000. 11000. And there's our V speeds, 108, 108, 111. And that matches. Looking at the initial departure charts, initial climb clearance 6,000 or as directed by ATC. So we're going to spin the wheel on the altitude display here to 6, And we also want to make sure we've got runway heading set 195 on the heading mode. So we're going to spin that until heading below the PFD there goes around to 195 degrees. Like so. We're going to have loads of cautions all flashing at us until we get engine 2 rotating and everything else. And we're on FMS mode 1 as well. So heading is set, altitude set, we've checked the data, QNH is set. Cruise altitude needs to be set. We're going for 19,000 feet today for this first sector. I won't worry about the alternate cruise. Just going to work through some of these pages to make sure I'm happy. Sim brief mean winds. So we can take the average wind for the flight plan, 101 at 14. We can add that in there as well. 101, 14. That one. And that's it. If we have to divert, we'll put an alternate in and things like that. And I'm not sure, we haven't tested it yet to see whether that actually works or not. We're going to bring the tilt down to about -3. We'll pop it on standby for the weather radar. Brakes are on. Let's get rid of the chocks. First, we shall prepare for pushback. Doc's got the taxi route already. Robson, hello. How are you doing? Robson's the developer of New Sky, by the way, folks, which is the virtual airline client that we use for Osprey Airways. So Doc's given us taxi via Charlie, Hotel Echo, and then hold point Echo 2, runway 19 right.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
It's a rather intense stare. Pump 2 can go on. Beacon light's already on anyway, just because the tracker.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin
42 degrees apparently. Sheesh. Spicy. Let's pop that on as well. Clear that. So comms. 1228. Switcheroonie. Oh, hello. So distracting. Suvarnabhumi traffic, Bangkok Air 185, ready to check.
Readability 5, how copy?
Likewise, readability 5.
Alright, knock 8840. Knock 8896 Q400, powering back from stand 106.
Set that. We're not going to set VHF radio and stuff like that at the moment. I assume that's knock because it's not matched and the engines are on. So wait for him to push back and Zato begins to taxi out the way, and then we can push from there. I feel like our drone camera settings seem to like auto change, which is really weird. So we'll set 10 for now, see what it gives us. It's a little bit better. I like a smooth rotation. And another Bangkok Air there, looking good. We just got to wait for him to get clear. Suvarnabhumi traffic, Bangkok Air 185, stand 106 after the Nok Air ATR departs. Push and start facing south. Ergi, epic. Automated says the Dash 8, by contrast to the ATR, has got a dedicated APU, which is pretty cool. So effectively the APU for us is inside this engine with the prop brake, preventing the propeller from spinning, and that is then in effect the ATR version of an APU, and it's cheaper, saves weight, time, money for the manufacturers as well to kind of make it work.
Nok Air 8896 taxiing to 01 right via Tango 5, Tango 3,
01 right.
Charlie, Golf, and Echo.
Continue pushback. Nose left, tail right. I'm going to 19 right.
Release parking brakes, please.
Oh my god, he's a zoop out of the way. Okay, so we are clear then to rotate. Propeller number 2.
Parking brakes, please.
I did. Oh, maybe the chocks. My bad.
Commencing push.
I always forget one or the other, don't I?
Start at will.
H.A. Salahin,
Clear
welcome.
prop.
Good evening to you for Brunei. Clear prop indeed. So, condition lever 2 is on feather. Pushback has begun. Start A and B. Prop brake off. Unlock goes red. There it is. Prop brake's green and ready. And watching the engine instruments now begin to slightly change. We run it into automatic, single channel. Looking for low pitch. There it is. MP is rising with the rotation.
Traffic on Nok Air 8896, revising on the taxi plan. 19 right via Tango 5, Tango 3, Charlie, Golf, Echo, holding point Echo 2. Suvarnabhumi traffic.
And that is it. We'll remove the gust lock. And we'll pop the engine start back to abort. For now, we don't need the ignition running for a few minutes. Good morning, David. Welcome. Look at that epic wing view.
Please set parking brakes.
Cockpit to ground.
Good morning, Lively. Welcome.
You can disconnect.
Hope you're well. Good to see you. So, ground crew are going to work to disengage the equipment, and we're going to have one engine running as we taxi out. Such a spectacular bit of scenery, this Siam Flight Bangkok.
Unlocking gear.
Guile, hello! There's Ian flying Osprey. Love it. And he's just written off the plane. Brilliant. I was just about to take a screenshot, and then I thought, I better not. He's gone from looking really good and immersive to rather calamitous. Come on, get your head out of my nose. There we go, that's a bit better. Ooh. Andrew, yeah, that's not good. Hopefully you get that sorted, buddy. There's the tag. showing us the ground pins removed. And we can pop the taxi lights on. Everything else looks good. We've got lights and signs. Yes. Have a good trip. Jolly good. Oh, I hate that song. Let's change it. A long old taxi. So, brakes off. Suvarnabhumi traffic, Bangkok Air 185 taxiing to hold point Echo 2, runway 19 right via Charlie Hotel Echo, Suvarnabhumi traffic. Going to do some control checks as well very quickly actually before we start to move, so we can get our rudder authority and the sensitivities working quite nicely. And we're taxiing single engine, so it does require a little bit of power from engine 2, which is where this can get a bit tricky. If you put too much power in, you will only go left in a big circle. Which is fun for a while, but gets boring very quickly. So Tango 2 must have been behind us. It is. So that's fine. We'll head out of Tango 3 down the bottom end. That way we get to taxi past this very nice terminal. So as we mentioned before, 2 sectors for today's live stream flight. Operating this Bangkok Air ATR72-600 on VATSIM. We're on our way down now to... I can't see Tango 4. Oh yeah, Tango 4 right down the bottom. Yes, that'll do. Yeah, we're heading down to Koh Samui. We've got MKBY's lovely Koh Samui airport scenery, which has recently been updated as well actually. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Custom GSX Pro profiles for all of the airports that we're flying to today, including our final destination, which is Orbx Phuket. And also, one feature that we've not explored before on the ATR, which I absolutely love, is map. Look at that. Let's see if we can zoom in here. We can't. Poo poo. Oh, hold on. Here we go. How cool is that? Taxi charts. So there's a feature that we haven't used before. A lot of people don't actually realise this is in here yet, which is quite cool. So you can zoom in and follow the taxi charts as you taxi along, and get some wonderful views. We'll head out of Tango 3. That's it, Doc, like the 787. And you can see the nav display there move with us, which is quite cool. The right turn's going to be difficult here, so actually I want a little bit of pace before we enter this next turn. I'm going to keep the prop at a set speed, just because we are single engine. I haven't tried popping any screens out. That's because I'm not. I never really do that, to be honest. So if we brake for any reason for this right turn and we go too slow, we won't be able to complete the turn without starting engine number 1 as well. So it's something worth bearing in mind. One of the little quirks of this aeroplane as we learn it. Such a cool aeroplane. I am absolutely enjoying this a lot. Map. How'd you pop it out again? I forget. Is it control? No, it's not. And now I broke it. There we go. Alt GR. Epic. There you go. I hope that's displayed on your screen. Andrew, I can't speak Thai. And similarly, this is a payware scenery. I love it. So it doesn't actually show on your screen. If I just quickly change the output of the sim to Windows, there you go, that's what you can see now. But it's not a feature I ever use, to be honest. It pops out and undocks the WASM instrument, so I just think... you know what, I still don't trust the sim enough for that sort of stuff. But, you know, I prefer as well, instead of undocking it, actually seeing it change here. It's quite interesting. I did Delta Tango, I did. But then I can only say one or two words, to be fair. Long old taxi. It's a good job we're on single engine. Charlie Hotel. Hotel's going to be the next main right beyond the buildings. This is a mega airport. Imagine the taxi being half the duration of the actual cruise. What we got here? There we go, that's the one. I need to try and actually set the custom views like the old way, where you go into the config files and do -40, because you can then force the camera outside of the windows, outside of the aircraft, so that would be quite good to try and maybe work out. Well, yeah, so you need a little bit of rudder. So as you saw there, we were in that wing view, I wasn't compensating enough, the aeroplane's just slowly drifted off to the left. Ah. Prime example now. Oh, we've just done it. We've just done it. That's really weird because the building on the left isn't on the charts that I'm currently looking at, so I thought we were taxiing beyond that. At least that shaved about 5 minutes off. Look at that building. Stunning, isn't it? Shut says for him, he finds popping of the screens out impacts his frame rates.
Facing to the south, Bangkok traffic.
Ah. It was the other left. The other right. We are on golf. Incorrectly. We'll keep the speed up and we'll just zip on out. Bar Hotel 3 and pretend that we weren't here. Get a little bit of power in before we start to turn right. Keep the wheels rolling at all times. Mike, hello. So if I put any more prop in than this, it will struggle. Which is ironic because on the ground, if you were using your wheels to steer, it should be able to still turn right quite comfortably, I thought. Oh yeah, I have no idea where I'm going, clearly. We like a magical mystery tour de don't we? I guess we could argue that it's a really good test for the map. Constantly going left, right all the time, trying to see if we can confuse it. That's what we'll go with. Hotel down to Echo, so it's going to be the second right on the main taxiways back up. Oh, Andrew, we're going to taxi, so we're just heading up to the crash gate. We're going to join the highway down down to Koh Samui. Driving all the way.
Suvarnabhumi traffic, Nokia 8896, departing 19 right by the Reco 3 Golf departure.
To be fair, Mayday, that was on me because the scenery's fantastic and the charts are fairly clear. But if you can see now, if I put the charts on the screen, you can see that that building that we have on the left doesn't exist on the charts that I've got in front of me. So that's where the confusion came from, because I thought I was expecting to go to the end of the building there to then head on to hotel, which is where the confusion has happened. And that's what I shall tell the authorities when they try and take my license off me. Doc says in front of us there's a hotel that's very famous for plane spotters here. As you can see, the planes lining up on Golf and Hotel. I assume it's one of those then that you're on about, just off the edge of the runway there. So crossing Delta, we don't want Delta though. There goes I think Zato in his, was he in a Dash 8? Ah, that explains it then, Doc. Bit confusing to have in the scenery though, and not in the charts. Zip it across. Nearly at the whole point, still not going to turn the engine on just yet. A quick peek at my checklist. What have we got here? So,
Suvarnabhumi traffic, Nokia 9986, airborne 1800 for 230. Final call for Suvarnabhumi.
Anti-skid test, we're going to put flat 15. Set. Flight controls have already been tested, full and free. And currently we've got taxi lights on. De-ice as required, wing logo lights as required. Engine 1 can now go to start, so start A and B, start 1. Checking the displays, NH is rising. Feather. MP's rising, ITT's rising. Torque's beginning to come up. And auto. Continuing the engine start through to low pitch and engine 1. We're going to idle engine 2 now and just be careful of speed because it will run away from us very quickly now with both engines on. We go back to nav display now. Bring that range ring in a tad as well. So that's it, engines 1 and 2 both on. Pitot heats is already on. We're going to put engine starts to off and abort. Bleeds are both on, no warnings, and we've got no white lights on the overhead panel. Pre-departure checks. We're going to look down, we're going to press the takeoff config just below the rudder indication there. Takeoff config test OK in blue. We can let go. FCP nav data and radios are all set. Speeds are both all checked and set actually there. And we're on auto speed. And fuel quantities are good. Is that an A380? Crikey. Oh, it's an Asobo blob. Rim. Don't even know what that's meant to be. Let's try and find it. Orb 228. It's horrible anyway, whatever it is. Power management set to takeoff. I'm going to try and do something a little different today. I'm going to arm nav and VNav IAS modes. Flight directors are on. 6,000 sets. They're going to transmit. Alright, let's own it. Suvarnabhumi traffic, Bangkok 185. Echo 2 is lining up, runway 19 right. Get rid of the music. Okay, transponder goes on. Ident TCAS on auto. And comms sets. Let's go flying indeed. Push into flight for idle gate. Suvarnabhumi traffic, Bangkok Air 185 is taking off runway 19 right to Regos 3 Golf, departure Bangkok. Stick forwards and control visualizer is there for you. Notch. Thrust set. Speed 60. $80 knots. Very early for V1, but V1 rotate. Positive rate. Gear up. Pretty much did all the work for me there, it did. I'm going to set that for a bit of trim. Fuel damper, autopilot, LNAV and VNav active, and climbing away. There is Bangkok International below. Very cool. Okay. Over to climb speed mode. Pitch is going to come down. Going to allow the aeroplane to accelerate now to 170 knots. And through F now, we're going to decrease flaps. Suvarnabhumi traffic, Bangkok Air 185 is airborne 2,000 feet, Regos 3 Golf. Dock cliffs over here. Very nice, lots of green. Huge highway going down there. Look at that. Massive highway. How are we doing on here? So pretty much straight out departure. We're going to keep this all the way up to 190. Lot of turbulence. So Doc, yeah, being so close to Suvarnabhumi International, how often do you find yourself visiting the airport hotel, doing a bit of plane spotting and all that sort of thing? Taxi takeoff lights off. We'll put the wing lights off as well and the logo lights off. For now, we don't need those. Heading mode sync. And look at that. That's it, Delta Tango, yes. On the right hand side of the aeroplane now, as we climb away, is the fabled home of the Osprey Airways Dispatch Centre. AKA Doc's house. Love it. Absolutely, Andrew, yes. Don Muang as well is another Bangkok airport, which is also... there's a payware scenery for that as well. So, quite a leisurely flight, heading south. En route time's already active. We're going to remain climbing at 170 knots for the time being. And the aeroplane's going to sort itself out with trim and all that sort of stuff. Flaps are showing up at 0. We're in the climb mode. They're all on set. Yeah, we're there. We're just going to crack on. "66 miles cycled in 4 hours, Rab. My goodness. What sort of bike have you got?" Aviation fun, hopefully in the next month or so, but who knows. Daniel, hello, saying got to do these flights a few years ago on the ATR. Bangkok Airlines are a great little airline. Gracie, how did you find the flight then with them? And how did you find this particular route? Bangkok in the distance. It's an entirely different type of flying, this, if you're zipping around in the ATR. More, regional hops, slower services, slower commuter services as well. But it offers a really unique experience. It's very slow on the climb, 1,000 foot per minute. 170 knots doesn't give us much speed either. Bearing in mind now in the airliners we'd be at 250 knots. So almost double, zipping away. Pace-wise, massive difference between the two types of flying. We put the weather radar on, even though it doesn't do anything. Tilt's minus 4.5. I want 3. There we go. Lefteris Kalispera. The ATR feels so much forgiving on the approaches. It does. It gives you more time, doesn't it, to make decisions. And at the moment, in about 10 miles, so we're in VNAV, and I've set 19,000 because I want to see what it does. We need to be at or below 9,000 feet by Bravo Sierra 905, which is there on the nav display now. You can see it's also armed in magenta, and there is a little magenta flag on the altitude tape as we're climbing away now. So if we get close to that, at 9,000 the aeroplane should level off momentarily as we pass that waypoint. Whether we get there or not in time, I'm not sure. I think we might. So we'll get to see the VNAV climbing and doing its thing. VNAV in itself, in its current form, is quite buggy, more so on descent. But there is a patch for that coming. It has been fixed, and there is an update next week coming for Microsoft Flight Simulator's ATR 42 and 72s. Edward, welcome aboard. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Cornwall, I don't think they've delayed it. It just wasn't released this week. I'm not sure. There was a lot of chat, wasn't there, initially a little while ago, saying it was this Tuesday. I'm not sure really where that came from, to be totally honest. Come on, 6 miles to BS 905. Let's see if we can get to 9,000 at that point. Mikhail, no worries, buddy. Have a good day. Thanks for tuning in regardless, though, and having a little look, saying hi. Yeah, tomorrow, folks, we've got a great route lined up. We're flying Manchester to Corfu, a TUI UK route. Yeah, there's the flag. We've only got 4 miles to go, but we should see a little bit, very little bit of levelling off here. What? Well, yeah, I mean, that was a rapid pitch down there. Violent correction. And I'm actually just going to let the speed run for a moment. So on QNH1013 we are at flight level 90 most likely, which is where this VNAV bug is with the discrepancy of altitudes, but we are below 9,000 still, so we are still compliant with the departure. David, hello. Good question. Is everybody happy with the news for working title about the InSim heavies? The dev update from the MSFS team yesterday, giving us a really nice bit of information. They're saying that there's been a lot of work going on in the background that none of us realised was actually taking place, where working title are improving and developing the 787-10 and the 747-8 inside the sim, with a huge avionics update coming in June. Really excited for that, actually. It's going to be interesting to see what they've done and how they're kind of getting all this to work. There we go. So that was actually quite nice. I liked that. When VNAV gets fixed next week, then it will mean that we won't have that slight altitude discrepancy, but by keeping the speed up and just letting it run away without altering the speed out of notch mode, it means that we can afford a little bit of pitch up to 1600 foot per minute for at least a few moments until that speed reaches 170 again. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it compares to what Salty Sim have done with the 747 and how it compares to what Heavy Division have done with the 787. It's going to be really quite interesting, I think. Through 10,000, landing lights off. It is smoothed out, so we'll pop the belts off as well, release the punters. Yeah, Zato, good question. I think in one sense, so Heavy Division, for example, at the beginning they were working around a lot of the encrypted files. So they were doing a lot of trickery and wizardry in order to get it to work how they wanted it to work, which is great because it ended up being a really nice package. But working title don't have that encryption to work through and work within, so they might have been able to actually edit and fix a lot of the stuff without the workarounds and the magic, and it might be one of those things where for them to take those Heavy Division files and add it into the update, they'd probably have to maybe unstitch a lot of the stuff. Who knows? That's my thoughts anyway. Go standard pressure. Weird discrepancy there. We'll leave the first officer's side. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what updates they have brought. Cruise flight of 190 today. Low and slow in the ATR. In fact, that's a view that I do enjoy. Next week we're going to fly either the 747-8 or the 787. I might do the 787 to be fair. Being a specific premium deluxe aircraft. We might take that out for a spin post-update next Wednesday. Just see what it's like. We'll plan a route of some sort somewhere in the world. I mean, we could even do maybe Sydney to Auckland. Something like that perhaps. Cross the ditch. Or something transcontinental in the States. And then we can put the update to the test to see what working title have done to improve the avionics and things in the Dreamliner. That would be quite a good flight, I think. We just need to bottom out a nice route. We could do, I mean, we could do JFK to somewhere or fly into JFK. head out of that, and he builds John F. Kennedy Airport. I'm hoping it will come with things like SimBrief route integration as well when the 787 does get updated. That's quite important. One of those things that aviation fun. Hello. No worries at all. That's a very TikTok thing. Can I get a Hoya? I did think maybe you're in the car and you just had one of those fuel trucks drive past. New boy, unfortunately not, no, but you will be able to enjoy the 747-8, which is going to have the same attention from working title as well in a big update. Randy, that could be a good one. What's the flight time for that though? That's the only issue I've got really is the flight times at the moment. Ever so slightly more restricted than I otherwise would be for time at the moment. The other half's, she's had a crash. So just before the stream today I was racing around dropping her off to work. I've got to get her back later as well. Same tomorrow potentially. And next week as well we're expecting to have to take the dog in for some x-rays. So not sure what day that is going to be, but I'll be working the stream schedules around all of that. Coronation weekend as well coming up. Those of you in the UK, very excited, looking forward to that. Though I'm going to be at work every one of those days. Andrew says you can never go wrong with a flight in Japan. Very true. Or we could do Seoul to Tokyo Haneda, or Seoul to Tokyo Narita. Oh yes, living on a player. I think you're right there. 787 and the 747 weren't coming until the 23rd of June. I think you're right there actually. So in which case we'll do it for around then. Yeah, no, next week, sorry, is the ATR update, isn't it? Where things like the VNAVs and all that sort of stuff are going to be updated. Yeah, good shout. Thanks for reminding me, living on a player. Let's increase the range. Barely climbing, look. 500 foot per minute. But these things are so efficient on fuel. Ah, exciting, Doc. I may well see them. Yeah, we've done 3 sectors. We've done 3. I think 3 sectors max. I think 1, 2. Oh no, we've done 2 sectors in this, James. You're saying though you're surprised that it did the 4 sectors with no problems. To this date, apart from the known bugs and known issues, we haven't had any issues with it that have caused massive problems beyond the issue at Hios the other week where the engines did go back to full power, but weirdly enough we haven't had that since. It was a bit bizarre, that. So we're keeping an eye out as we depart Koh Samui to head on to Phuket today to sort of have a look to see if that is another problem or not, but I'm not envisaging it being an issue. If it does, we'll just have to work around it. Perhaps if we don't get full power correctly, the acceleration that we expect, we might have to abort the takeoff out of Koh Samui. Arco, congratulations! Got married over the weekend. Very exciting. How was it? And also, you know, are you if you're going on a honeymoon, where are you going? Very exciting time for you and your other half. Big congratulations to the both of you. Michael, hello, welcome. Yeah, no, I've never had that, Brandon. And we've done a lot of flights in this so far. But there are bugs with the aeroplane. You just have to kind of work around some of them. Zato's finally reached cruise. Yeah, we've still got a few thousand to go. Such a slow climber. David, very nice. How you doing, Michael? I hope you're well. Oh wow, Arco, that's busy. Heading back home to Bosnia, then to Croatia, and then Montenegro in August. Lovely places. 3-week trip, wow. Yes, it's not the Ferrari, that's for sure. I love it, James. I'm having a really good time with it. Yes, beyond the quirks and the bugs, it is very enjoyable. I hope that translates across in the videos that I've been doing and the content and things as well with the ATR, because I'd like to think, as dry as my voice can be at the best of times, I'd like to think that my enthusiasm for the aeroplane does come across somewhat. Because up to this point I've had really good experiences with it, and every flight I've enjoyed. Aviation funds, that's a good question. So if you're on Xbox, you're asking, is the Latin VFR A320 any good? The Xbox sim experience is very different to PC sim experience. So the Latin VFR A320 for PC is utter dog poop, to be quite frank. On Xbox it's a bit of a different question in itself, because it's a very different system, very different simulator experience, and you are kind of limited to what's in the marketplace a fair bit as well. They're no different to the kind of crap that Captain Sim churn out as well. And Captain Sim are a really awful developer. Latin VFR are trying. They're scenery developers who have now gone into the world of making aircraft add-ons for the sim, more so because they've seen the dollar signs. But they've angled that specifically, I think, at the Xbox market. Aviation Fund, the link is in the description for the music. It's Epidemic Sound. It's an annual paid-for license that I've got that allows me to play the music on streams without breaching copyright and all that sort of stuff as well. Dark Tango says, I'll purchase a freighter version of the ATR if that comes out as well. Well, I thought Sobo said that there was an ATR version that was going to be part of the release of this, so I still find it surprising that it's not the case. That we only have a passenger version. Yeah, Matthew, they make some nice airport scenery. Yeah, Barcelona being one of those from Latin VFR. But I've found that their scenery development has kind of taken a bit of a sideline recently, because I think they're just thinking, let's make a whole lot of money with our random, very default aeroplanes. And I think then they've kind of just brushed aside the scenery element of their business, which is a real shame. A little frustrating, to be honest, as well. Yeah, the San Diego is very nice as well, William. That's a very nice scenery, actually, from them. I just hope it doesn't end up mothballed, to be fair. I think if you're looking for a high fidelity aeroplane, just wait for the PMDG737 to come to Xbox, as Ant has said, and in the meantime try and use just the default aircraft for now. As Hergy's saying, Latin VFR, nice scenery, but they've got some major problems for some reason they're not fixing, even though a relative easy fix would be possible. Well, there we go, case in point, it's because they're just focusing on making money from their default aircraft add-ons. That's kind of where their business has gone now, so it does make me lose faith in Latin VFR somewhat. Like I said, you know, Barcelona, there's a lot of flickering textures on some of the sceneries from Latin VFR at the moment, they could fix that if they wanted to. They don't seem interested. Shoe Dog, hello. Yeah, Reagan National, Washington DCA. Wonderful airport by Dezeki Design. Automated saying Baltimore from Latin VFR was a shame, it felt quite rushed. I've not tried that one, to be fair. Spyros, hello to you, saying how do you get the amazing custom camera views? So I've just set them myself. So if you've got custom camera views set as a keybind in the sim, you can literally start on the flight deck, open the door into the cargo area, then into the cabin, press and hold your mouse click, your right mouse, press and hold right mouse, don't let go of it, certainly if you're in flight. Only do this on the ground, folks, because otherwise you risk slamming the nose down and wrecking your flight. But press and hold, and then on the yoke, push forwards to walk forwards. When you get to the right window, set your save custom view keybind to save it. Finally, 1,000 below, 300 foot per minute. Just arriving at Red Joss now. Out of the SID. And hello, yeah, very exciting, isn't it? Very, very exciting. That's a good shout actually, Ant there, asking Aviation Fun, have you tried the A310? Yeah, I think anything high fidelity Aviation Fun is going to be difficult for you on Xbox. It's a very different experience. I think they've gone more for the arcade simmer Xbox style on the MSFS side of things, whereas PC offers an entirely different experience. Certainly for these high fidelity aircraft, like the PMDG737, you need to be able to have very good controls and sort of the ability to click and switch everything as required. And that's where like having a keyboard, a yoke, throttle, mouse, all that becomes really quite useful as a wider package in the sim. Almost flight level 190 now. It's taken us a while. David says he's seen no performance improvements for him at JFK with the update. William Kelly says, in the ATR, should you be able to fly in nav mode on VOR2? I can only get it to follow VOR1. Well, I guess the question there is, if you're tuning the VOR in VOR2, in nav 2, have you then set course 2? So have you then set that course selector switch for VOR2? Although to be fair, you should be able to click VOR2 and set course with that, I think, from memory, but it's worth just double checking. Mad Rabbit says, any tips for using an eye tracking device? I got myself the Tobii 3. Tobii 3? I've got the eye tracker 5. I'm not sure what the Tobii 3 is. Can't get used to it, even thinking of getting rid of it. Mad Rabbit says there, it makes pressing small buttons so difficult. Here's the old VNAV bug again, where it starts to chase everything. Yeah, so if I activate my Tobii eye tracker now, if I'm looking around and I stare at nav, I feel like I have to, just by talking, I'm staring at nav and I'm not moving my head, but the eye tracker is a little bit, can't help itself but move. So it's almost impossible for me, and it does do my head in. Effectively, the only thing that in flight an eye tracker would be good for, in my opinion, is general aviation, where you can kind of sit back, you're in a PA-28, you're hand flying and you're looking around and exploring, you quick check of the instruments down below, and that's it. You don't really have to click any switches, fiddle around with anything like that, effectively. So I only use the Tobii eye tracker 95% of the time on the ground, because otherwise in the airliners I find it entirely useless. Let's go to cruise mode now, hold the power management switch, and it'll allow the aeroplane to slowly accelerate to 245-ish knots, Again, we're still in notch, so we don't really need to change the power setting on this until descent if we leave it in notch. The aeroplane will gently accelerate through to whatever speed it can achieve. You'll find that the MCDU sets 245, which is just shy of DNE, that red, the overspeed barber pole. So the magenta speed bug here for 245 will just be shy of that. You'll find though, leaving it in notch, it will settle around 200, probably 210, 230 knots. It's going to sort of settle at. That's fine. Aviation fun, yes. So next week the ATR update is going to fix things like VNAV, the VNAV behaviour of it levelling off too early, getting the QNHs confused. So it can get a bit messy, can't it? Certainly descent and approach for the RNAV approaches. The advice there is use vertical speed mode instead of VNAV for the descent on an RNAV approach, which is what we're going to kind of discuss into Koh Samui today. It should all be fixed in theory by next week, as well as that turnaround bug that we've discussed and that we had at HIOS as well, with the power settings not reaching the correct power output for takeoff. But that barely accelerated through 187 at the moment. My God. Maybe so, David. Yeah. Crikey, Dan's saying there, one question, is it worth it to go from an Xbox controller, I'm assuming you're on PC, Dan, is it worth it to go from an Xbox controller to just the Thrustmaster Airbus joystick with no throttle quadrant for things like the Fenix, PMG, only like airliners, that sort of thing? It sure is, yeah, but I guess it depends on your budget as well and what you can afford, because how much is the joystick on its own? The TCA Airbus joystick on its own. Do you know? €60. Oh right, okay. Is that all? Well, that throws my idea out of the way. I was about to suggest, if it's 150-ish quid, you might be able to actually get yourself a yoke and throttle, or a stick and throttle instead. So yeah, all around it kind of depends on your budget, your total budget, and what you're willing to spend. For me, having a good throttle, Dan, is worth its weight in gold. So it depends what you can afford and what you're willing to get as well. But that's fair enough. Yes, the main restriction on your wallet. How much is the total? So 300 quid, to be fair, at game at the moment. Apparently, is the Turtle Beach Velocity 1 flight control system in the UK. The Turtle Beach Velocity 1 flight stick is 120 quid. Or £109.99 at box.co.uk. I mean, for me, Dan, what I would do is I would try and save for an extra month or two to get a pack which gives you a yoke and a throttle, or a stick and a throttle. I've had the Turtle Beach Velocity 1 now for a year. The only aeroplane I kind of get issues with it where it kind of fights, is Fenix, the Fenix A320. But it is a stunning bit of kit. It works very nicely with this, and the CRJ, and the and the PMDG 737 series, and the Flower White A32NX. So I'm quite happy with it, and I've also then got 4 throttles, so things like the BA146. This works remarkably well with that as well. It depends if you can maybe wait another month or two to push into that or not. It also depends what country you're in as well, because I know the prices and the tax structures in every country is slightly different too. Romania. Yeah, it'd be worth having a look at all of your options, Dan, to be honest. You've got Turtle Beach, Honeycomb, Thrustmaster, various different kits from them as well. So I would have a little look at all of your options. So you might actually then decide, Dan, just to wait another 2 months and buy yourself a set. It is a noticeable difference. I'd imagine once you get the yoke or a stick, you might find that actually you kind of wish you had a throttle as well. And then yeah, you've got to think as well about rudder pedals. So I suppose it depends what you want to spend and how much you want to spend. Ant says, what kind of budget would I need if I wanted to run MSFS on a PC at 40 to 50 frames per second at decent graphics? So decent graphics, realistically, you're looking, say, 4K. If you want to run the sim comfortably at 4K, 40 to 50 frames per second with frame generation and all that sort of stuff, you'll be looking at a spec similar to mine. So as Rabba said, £3,000 at least, Ant, for that. My spec was £3,750-ish pounds, nearly £3,800 for my PC to be built. But it means that comfortably it just sits at 4K, most of the time at 60 frames per second, really nicely. Alpha Bravo says his Honeycomb Bravo setup works well with the ATR for the most part, but Thought 1 keeps advancing on his own for some reason, which I need to sort out. It's weird. My god, living on a player. Jeez. Yeah, and I think you'd be looking more 1080p for around 1,500 quid. You'd struggle with 2K, I think, realistically. But you know, look at systems that have got like an RTX3080 or something like that. 3080s are pretty good graphics cards. They're more reasonable in price now too. Oh yes, we have Atis. Hello Henry, if you're watching, thanks for becoming our tower controller, really appreciate that. So we've got Koh Samui information, Bravo. Winds variable at 2 knots, visibility 10 kilometers or more. Few clouds at 2,000 feet, temperatures 31 degrees Celsius, dew point 26 degrees Celsius, QNH 1008 and landing departing runway 17. Expect RMP approach runway 17, transition level 13,000. So, VNAV, no it's not, it's going to be, where is it going to be? Perth. We can set that. And the QNH 1008. And we've got the RNAV 17 input. Not far to top of descent now though, 80 miles. We can look at the arrival procedures then at this point. We're a Category B aircraft, so this chart doesn't really help us. It's for Category C, A320, 737s, that sort of thing. We want this Category A and B chart instead. They look identical, to be fair, but there might be some other differences which we can kind of look at. It might be the missed approach. 33 as directed. Interesting, I can't really notice many differences. I'll have to study it closer to work out any changes there. But we're going to be flying in from UpNet, 7.7 diameter miles, then from the initial approach fix at 8,000 feet to Sierra Mike 177. Then at Nurlo, mandatory 7,000 feet. Heading into Pukom, max 210 knots, 3,300. And then Sierra Mike 172 down to 2,200 feet. And then Sierra Mike 171. Very, very short final approach then at that point. Realistically with us in the ATR, we'll be turning the autopilot off and just hand flying that last section of flight. We're going to go from 1,400 feet down to the runway. Only 3 miles to final anyway, so we might even hand fly a little bit more of it, to be fair. But the final inbound course of 175, and it's an LNAV only RNAV approach, which is why we can do that with the VNAV bugs for this. Minimums of 1,000 feet. So we're going to set MDA at 1,000 for this. Airport elevation 64. Tiny airport, but a nice runway length for us in the ATR, no concerns there. We'll just use a little bit of brakes, maybe some reverse prop. We may be able to turn in the centre of the runway, to be fair, but I think we're probably going to have to go right down to the end, round back on ourselves. Then we're going to taxi off Delta when we backtrack and park on stand somewhere in the centre here. Somewhere, anywhere, pick a stand, any stand. Then we'll throw a turnaround in. Yeah, problem is, Doc, as you can see, you can't. We haven't got a way to change any of these because the flight plan's a little bit messed up. So maybe we can try and force it here, but you can see this is why we have no. You're mentioning about there's approaches missing. Because of this. Oh, actually, hold on. We found it. Let's see if that's fixed it for us. Still no. So we'll probably just go direct to Pukom. From Tuspu. Where's Zato? He was ahead of us, wasn't he? Yeah, Zato's ahead. So that should work out quite nicely. Oh yeah, it's on the second page. My god. Tuspu, UpNet, Nurlo, Pukom, there we go, that looks a bit better, doesn't it? My god. I'm having one of those days. 2, 3. Hasn't mucked anything up too much, that's good. Yeah, PC Specialist is who's they're the folks who built my PC for me. I've got no affiliation to them though. There's no deals or sponsorship or anything like that. I just paid them the price that a retail price that they asked. They built it for me like every other consumer. But they've done a nice job of it. I can say that with confidence. I'll go and sort the dog out, bear with me. And then we're going to think about the comms on the way in to speak to Tower. Right. 40 miles to top of descent. Arco, no, we just discussed it a few times. VNAV currently is balked, so fly it like a CRJ. That's my biggest tip. I think even when it's fixed, my recommendation would be to fly it more like a CRJ and use vertical speed mode. The only thing you don't get is the banana that tells you where your sort of bottom of descent is, which is difficult. I've been told always avoid Dell Aviation Fun these days. Right, comms. We want Koh Samui Tower 1189er. 1189, enter. And there are some VORs and things as well that we can tune into Koh Samui. 1176. Oh, wrong one. I always do that. 1176. And that's going to go to manual now. So 77 miles to go. Yes, Ant, that's the one. PC Specialist built mine. If you guys do end up ordering from PC Specialist, let them know that I say hello. Yeah, even Alienware. So one of my mates has got an Alienware laptop. He says he's had nothing but problems with it, and it's found it difficult to upgrade. But they've also been fairly ignorant and non-existent, not helpful at all with any support, ongoing support. So for that reason, I would steer well away from anything Dell, to be totally honest, especially when you're spending that much money. So that's it, that's it, that's it. We're going to pop TCAS. That's here, isn't it? Like that. Dual blast, yeah, they're meant to be pretty good. Yeah, try and avoid pre-built. Get a custom-built PC. So my first computer that I built was built by Overclockers UK. They were okay. The system was suitable enough, certainly for a little while. Chill Blast I've heard very good things with. Next I've heard are quite good, but PC Specialist, I can speak from experience with my current computer that they've done a beautiful job with it. And the prices were reasonable enough. Bear in mind it is an expensive rig anyway. Never heard of CCL. CCL. Somebody else has used, I think Scan was mentioned the other week. And they said good things about them. There you go, Shuts. I've always used Scan for over 30 years for my PC builds, component upgrades can recommend, so there's a lot to choose from. It doesn't make it an easier decision though. Of course, Jeff saying he built his own PC this time. It was a lot easier than I was expecting, no problems with it. It's good to know. Same with David as well, he's used Scan, last two PCs off Scan. It's a difficult thing to kind of try and decide. Certainly when you're spending over £1,000, that's it's a lot of money to throw away, or spend on something rather that might go wrong. So naturally you want to make sure that what you're getting is a good quality product at the end of it, and you want the confidence as well that you're not going to get any issues. Windows 11 I'm on. Right, what else? I'm going to revert to my checklist for descent. So we've obtained the destination weather. I'll put the METAR command in the live chat for you so you can see the latest METAR. There we are. So variable 2 knots, all the 9s, few cloud 2000, 31 degrees, over a dew point of 26 degrees, and the QNH 1008. Arrival data set and checked, radios are set now as well, wing and engine anti-ice not really required for this, FCP will set as required. We're going to initially descend to 8,000 feet, which is below the transition level. Is it 8,000? Yeah, 8,000 by UpNet. And the altitude constraints are there. $16 RAM aviation fun. I would try and get a minimum of 32 gig. If you can, 64 gig, but look at the clock speeds of the cards as well. You want as fast as you can get as well. So my RAM currently on the new rig is 5200 megahertz DDR5 RAM, and it's 64 gigabytes. Andrew, yeah, Team Group. So I had my original RAM on my old computer was Team Group's. It was a 16 gig, two 16 gig cards to make 32 gig. They failed very quickly, a lot faster than they should have done. So I've been put off Team Group. You don't really need a high spec grab, but you need a comfortable margin, don't you? That's the thing. I think we might go direct Phuket now. Yeah, let's go. Let's do a direct to Phuket. Execute. Then alt select. Oops. 3,000. 3,300 is what we want. So flight level 33. More aviation fun. You're going to want at least so if you want comfortable, comfortable margin, you're going to want like at least for a basic 1080p level spec PC, you want about 700 or so watts, right, guys? So around 800 watts. Go from there. Go to vertical speed mode now because I don't like the VNAV descent at the moment. We need to make sure we're getting down. So 3,300. Yeah, minimum 800 watts I would go for, and it then gives you a comfortable margin again for later upgrades. Andrew, absolutely fine. But then I've got a DDR5 system and all the rest of it, so. $20 miles. Ooh. Let's keep it going. Go for 2,800 foot per minute for now. Koh Samui, ahoy! Koh Samui traffic, Bangkok Air 185 is 20 track miles north of Phuket, descending flight level 120 for 3,300 feet. QNH 1008, expecting RNAV approach runway 17, will report changing to tower shortly. (1008). Yeah, Andrew, I haven't updated my NVIDIA graphics driver since February, because I find they are pretty rubbish, the latest ones. Andre, welcome! Okay, lights, signs are already on. Lights are now set, icing as required, not really required. Cabin temperature's looking good. QNH is set, the approach is brief. The missed approach is turn left, climb on track 155 degrees, to Sierra Mike 900, then turn left direct to Phuket, minimum 3,300 feet, and hold or as directed by ATC, no turn before the missed approach point, and speed restricted to a maximum of 210 knots until after the turn. Bit better, so we'll ease that to 1800 foot per minute. April driver, Mike. My goodness. Yeah, it's worth trying to roll back to the one at the end of February, because that seems quite stable for a lot of people. And I'm actually too scared to update to any others, actually, to be fair. Oh, minimum's 1,000. Quick. 1,000 set. Fabio, you need to update to the latest GSX. It's got native support for it now. Koh Samui traffic, Bangkok Air 185, 10 track miles north of Phuket, 6,000 feet, changing to Koh Samui Tower 118.9er. Information Bravo. Keep going 2,200. The blue on the map is the missed approach. Final check of the overheads. Happy with all of that. Let's get rid of the music. For now. Speed's good, altitude's looking good. Appear to be on profile. Keeping that nose down in the descent. We'll do 3,300 now, so in vertical speed mode, just levelling off now. Say that though. Vertical speed mode is doing its own thing. So we will hand fly the entire thing then from here. Because why not? As if it wasn't hard enough. Jeez, here we go. Okay, so let's get the nose down a little bit. And we're just going to make sure we trim for around 3,300. I find trim quite quirky as well. Quite difficult to kind of stabilise. Koh Samui Tower, good evening, Bangkok Air 185, ATR72 with information Bravo over Phuket 3300, QNH 1008.
Bangkok Air 185, Koh Samui Tower, good question. 20 half, good evening, confirm you are planning for RMP runway 17.
AFM RMP 17.
Descend at topish for final.
Descent for final, Bangkok Air 185. Zero 05, smooth on the controls, and we'll, oops, too many things to click. What do we want? 3,300, isn't it, for a minimum of a hold? So we'll set that actually. 3-3 set. Heading set. Speed's 180. Forgive me if I miss the live chat a little bit now, folks, because I've got my work cut out, hand flying this whole approach. Bit of turbulence. I'll get the control visualizer up for you on the bottom left of your screen so you can see all the inputs we're making as well. Flap to 15 through below 180. At this point the flight directors are just confusing to look at, so get the engine set to idle. A Bangkok Air 185 turning final.
Bangkok Air 185, Roger, wind level 2 knots, runway 17, clear, settling.
Clear land 17 Bangkok Air 185. Watching the speeds. Still can't extend gear yet, too fast. Now we can. Still can't extend flap 30. Now we can. Little bit of a bump there. Still in idle at the moment. Descending down to our final approach speed. Minimums though already, and we are nice and stable, and we are set for the missed approach. So heading is now synced to. Speed's coming off. Yeah, energy management is key in this. A little bit of trim. Speed's looking a bit better.
500.
Get down 3 green.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20,
Holding the flare.
10,
Touchdown and brakes. Don't need reverse prop. Just smoothly decelerate. 50 knots. Down to the end for a backtrack. 192 foot per minute. Top left is the touchdown. Almost had to execute a go around there though, because we floated right to the edge of the.
Bangkok Air 185, with backtrack runway 35, change the gate left or right when able.
Backtrack 35 and vacate when able. Bangkok Air 185. I reckon we can. Let's clear that. Clear GPWS. Let's clear jaw visualizer. Because they can't really rush you for backtrack living on a player, because it is what it is.
Koh Samui Tower, Osprey 2472 with you, type ATR700, 3 nautical miles to the north of Phuket.
Loads of time.
Call sign again, please.
Osprey 2472.
Oh, Osprey 2472 Koh Samui Tower, what the car? Confirm, are you planning for RMP runway 17, is that correct?
AFL RMP 17 for Osprey 2472.
Roger, continue approach.
Is parking gate 8 free? Let's find out.
Continue approach for Osprey 2472.
Knock or tie? That's interesting. We'll go for tie.
Bangkok Airways 185. Welcome to Koh Samui. Do you have stand preference?
Stand 8 if it's free, please. Bangkok Air 185.
Bangkok Air 185, roger for Cape right on for Cape, next right onto Delta, then continue taxi stand number 8.
Book over Cape Delta, stand 8, Bangkok Air 185, thanks. What's great with this is you have to then think about, oh right, okay, we've landed, we need to start the APU and all the rest of it, but you don't. There's no APU. So we're just going to, oh yeah, Christopher, but that's an issue with the custom profile. Somebody's not configured it correctly. Can't fix that. Right next to the Jetstar, so all the lights are off. And parking up. Got full on our beach shorts and everything. Oh, that is. Brakes on. Let's continue feathering engine number 1 for now.
Osprey 2472, the question, wind favorable at 2 knots, runway 17, face left.
Clear to land for Osprey 2472.
Brake blue. Lovely. So we'll leave it on hotel mode for turnaround. Why not? Right, what else have we got then? So up the top, we'll leave all that as it is. That's all fine. Billy's cut engines. GSX, interesting. Maybe if we do a little wiggle like that. No, it's not having it. So there's a slight issue with GSX for turnarounds by the looks of it. We'll go aircraft, chocks, ground power. Okay. Have we got engines on still? We do. Oh, it's a bit too far. That looks alright. Okay, let's get the doors, tail props. All of those warnings, because we've turned engine 1 off, that's fine. We're just going to ignore that for now. We can go tab, GSX, request deboarding. Oh, Ian's down. Missed it, damn it. That would have been a really good touchdown, I'm sure. Punters are coming out. It'd be interesting to see if they walk off. Oh, okay, it's a bus. This MKVY scenery is quite nice. Doc says, see me. Are you the Jetstar or are you their little Bangkok Dash? ATR?
Osprey 2472, backtrack runway 35 and proceed on to Delta.
Backtrack runway 35 and vacate at Delta for Osprey 2472.
And then on New Sky, we'll close the flight. Got a 10, love it. Used a tiny bit less fuel apparently as well. Hey ho. So now we need our next sector set up ready. Thanks for saying nice on the 10, love it. I had to make up for the 2 tail strikes when I was learning to fly.
2472, do you have stand preference?
No, no standard preference. I'll just park up next to the other aircraft flown in.
Let's go to our next sector.
Osprey 2472.
So departing runway 17 again, our cruise this time is going to be an altitude of 14,000 feet.
Taxi to stand number 6. Correction to stand number 9.
And stand number 6, Osprey 2472.
Negative, stand number 9.
Correction, stand number 9, Osprey 2472.
We've got to sort out sim brief for a moment. So I'm deep within New Sky at the moment, folks. Trying to get all of this sorted out for the turnaround. Flying 17, arriving runway 09 it says. And it was 14,000. 14,000, 62 passengers again. And the route, Dorna 1, departure to Dorna, Yankee 3 to Monbu, and that's the arrival. That is, again, we don't need sim brief, it's so simple. We'll regenerate that route. And then on GSX we're going to pre-arm, reload sim brief. Now it shows OK. Request boarding. Category B. see if it accepts it.
127 ground briefing, please.
Bangkok Air 127 RB 107.
127.
Right.
Towers for takeoff. Confirm,
So.
are you planning for RT runway 17?
A firm RB 17.
Block fuel. We can change that
127.
in here. Weight balance.
Continue push runway 17.
1826. In fact, that's how much fuel we had.
17. Bangkok Air 127.
That'll do. Payload is 5369. That's as close as we can get. So I might add an extra percent fuel to account for the slight increase of weight. And then on my pen, so gross weight in the sim is now going to be 2309. Fuel on board 1891. We've got hotel mode engaged, so we're slowly burning that. And payload 5408. That's all done. Sounds like we've got one coming in, and thankfully the touchdown zone is right here, so we get to spot. Set the camera up ready, and then down here we can go to menu, my flights,
Bangkok Air 127. Wind variable channel, runway 17.
start flight.
17 clear to land. Bangkok Air 126.
Okay, weight then, so 20309. Fuel 1891. And fuel 870. Oops, VTSM.
Do you want to deboard crew?
VTSP. Set. Here he comes. Look at that for timing. Whoa. And it's an ATR. Love it. Very exciting. Start to pan the camera back. Oh god, the passenger bus has gone rogue. And he's in the flare. Holding it. Holding that picture. Oh, look at that. Stunning. That was a fantastic touchdown. And decelerating towards the end. That was a whopper. Fantastic. Good job.
Bangkok Air 127. Welcome to Koh Samui. Backtrack runway.
I don't know if we've got anyone else flying in at the moment. I'm going to quickly change frequency. Change call sign, sorry. We are now going to be Bangkok Air, so BKP 401. So log out, log back in. VTSM, runway 17, Dorna 1 Alpha. Execute. Into Phuket. We're expecting RNAV09 Zulu. We'll configure for it, we'll see what happens. And it's going to be the Mon B1 Charlie arrival via Kalim. Execute. So that's our routing. So the SID to Dorna, and then the star, the Mamba star, into Phuket. Now there's a Yankee 3 airway between the two. That's all it says on our sim brief flight plan. If I zoom in though, well, we've got Dorna at one waypoint, Tedos. That's it. So Dorna to Tedos, Tedos to Monbu, and that's our route. That's why we don't need SimBrief integration in the ATR. I keep saying it. All down, David. Nice one. Thanks, buddy. We're going to import our route now to BH.
Bangkok 127, you can taxi to stand number 4.
Stand 4, flying with 1.
Just sorting out Valanta at the moment as well. EKP 401. That'll do. We boarding? Yes, we are. Cracking. Nice little airport, this freeware. Of course, it's all there is to it. There isn't really much to see, but it's nice to have a fairly decent looking Koh Samui anyway. There's an advert there which has been here for a little while. Cycles back between a couple of photographs. Good morning, Dorman. How are you? There you are. Living it play, I love it. So we're literally waiting for the bags.
2472, Koh Samui Tower.
Osprey 2472, go ahead.
Are you guys doing a group flight to Phuket?
AFM, we're all heading off to Phuket now.
Roger, and any one of you guys streaming over there?
Might be.
Yes, the Bangkok flight it's on stand 7, I believe.
Let me check. Stand number 7 is Jetstar Asia, so are you talking about him?
It might be me at stand 8.
Who's streaming?
It's British Avgeek over on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
We're now famous.
He just realised.
I'm ready to be famous as whatever I be.
Fantastic.
What's your YouTube channel, by the way?
I'll pop it in text.
Send me via private message.
Oh, too late. How do I do this? Not chat. Open private chat. Oh, actually cracking up. Love it.
Wait, I have controlled you before.
Thanks for being online.
No problem. I have controlled you once before. I was at Shutdown.
Right, where are we? Let's unload charts. Okay, so unload, import. That's brilliant. And then we're going to bring in our route from... that's it, no autographs at the stand. He's running out the tower at the minute, down to the stand, to board the aeroplane. Do you have any of those British Avgeek Osprey Airways mugs? Right, runway 17, Dorna 1 Alpha, and then Phuket. We're looking at the Arnav approach, Arnav Zulu approach, runway 09 via Kalim transition. But again, we have the issue with this ATR being unable to kind of handle Arnav approaches particularly smoothly. But we'll depart out of Koh Samui, little backtrack on 17, then departing southbound. Dorna. One Alpha. It is. Yep, there we go. Make sure I've just cross-checked that. I'm writing as I'm reading. Dorna 1 Alpha. As we brief. So we're going to depart runway heading for as long as we're by the runway effectively. Then we're going to turn 160 degrees out to Temux, max 210 knots, climbing up to 2,000 feet at or above. And then from there, turning westbound to the south of the island through Dotog, climbing up through 6,000 and above, and out to Dorna. From that point onwards, we have a direct from Dorna to Tedos, which is just there. That's that one waypoint in between the two in the route, the SID and the star. Just that one waypoint. Well, we don't need sim brief integration that much. And then we're arriving at Monbu. Phuket's landing runway 27 our dock says. Interesting, which is good. That means there's an ILS. So let me just change this. 27. ILS 27. What charts have we got here? I hope we just do to final. Which means we need the Mombi 1 Delta then, I assume. There we are. So it's changed it slightly. And it's going to look like that now instead, which is a bit frustrating because we've already just put the route in. So arrival, approach, well hopefully this doesn't kill it. ILS 27. Mombi 1 Delta. Execute. Mombu, Stone, Cider, Baron. And then approach. Done. That looks like what it does on the charts on the left. Doc there pointing out ILS runway 27 has got an offset localizer. It does. Little warning there of a offset course 1.4 degrees. Which should be quite interesting. And we're going to be coming directly in from the top of the chart where it kind of says flight level 130. We're then going to kind of look down here. J West 5 Henry, hello to you from Koh Samui Tower. Welcome, welcome. So heading in from the north, straight into final. And we've changed the plan now to ILS 27, Mombi 1 Delta to match the real ops. So I'm going to actually try and change that and refile. Let's get our clearance. Are we actually loading people?
Boarding requested.
Thought I'd
Passengers bus is coming.
already done that. We need to go into Perth because I might have, yes, approach active still stuck, so we have to make sure we've deactivated that, and then the speeds will, it should, it says revert. We're going to set all the weights and the balance. It will figure itself out, I'm sure. So transition altitude 11,000. V speeds look good. Cruise altitude now is 14,000 feet for the second sector. Arriving to Phuket around gate 3 ideally. Flight level 140.
Passengers boarding starting.
And the mean winds. 099 at 10. That'll do. And we're in the chat. I'm just going to put VTSP's METAR in there with the command so we can see what the weather looks like at Phuket. And I need to finish off. It does say VTSP, that's good. I think we are almost there. We've just got boarding to get through now. New skies, departure was 14:20, so actually we're going to be slightly delayed by the looks of it. We might just skip through that bit. That's all set. Hotel mode is active. And altitudes then. So initial climb clearance on the Dorna departure. Doesn't actually say. Just need to be at or above 6,000 passing Dotog. So I think I might set 6 for now.
Samui Tower, hello, this is Jetstar Asia 962 at
And 160 degrees for the heading.
Phuket with information, Bravo.
So I'm going to set that as well. So that's now bottom left of the PFD. We're going to clear MDA. Recycle that to 0 then to get rid of it.
Clearance available, advise you ready to go.
Ready to copy Jetstar Asia 962.
Jetstar Asia 962, declare to Phuket. Dorna, 1 Alpha departure, runway 17, inch climb 6,000 feet, expect flight level 200, squawk 7157.
Right, that's set now in magenta at blue 108.
Clear to Phuket via the Dorna 1 Alpha departure, runway 17, initial climb 6,000, expect flight level 200, squawk 1757, Jetstar Asia 962.
Jetstar 962, negative 7157, 7150.
Apologies, 7157, Jetstar Asia 962.
Jetstar Asia 962, respect correct. Report when ready for cruise and start.
So Navigraph's done, Volanta's done, boarding's in progress, new sky's ready, flight plan's pulled on V-Pilot, and we're just working through the turnaround currently. Come on folks, we've got to go Phuket. Information Charlie.
Phuket Tower, Australia 2472, type ATR72. Information Charlie on board, requesting IFR to Phuket from stand number 9, please.
1009 are now, so we'll update that.
Osprey 2472. Koh Samui Tower, hello again, 20 taps, convert to clearance.
And Tower, Knocker 889er 6Q400, information Charlie aboard requesting IFR clearance to Phuket. We are at stand number 9.
Okay, 889er Koh Samui Tower 20 cars, standby clearance number 2.
Number 2, 8896.
Bangkok Tower, hello again. Bangkok Air, Koh Samui Tower rather, hello again. Bangkok Air 18401 on stand 8 with Charlie request clearance to Phuket.
Oh, 2 stations, 1 at a time, and standby, break. Osprey 2472, clearance ready.
Ready to copy, Osprey 2472.
I probably got that wrong.
To Phuket. Donna 1 Alpha departure, runway 17.
Oh, Diablito says, how do you change the bottom view on the PFD? This one, you change the mode up here.
Cleared for the Dorna 1 Alpha departure for runway 17, climb 6000, expecting flight level 160 and squawk 7156, Osprey 2472.
Osprey 2472, repack correct, report, run ready, push and start. Nokia 8896, clearance ready.
Nokia 8896, ready to copy.
8896, you clear to Phuket. Dorna 1 Alpha departure, runway 17. Airscon 6000, expect flight level 160, squawk 7155.
Clear to Phuket via the Donna 1 Alpha departure, runway 17, climb 6000, expect 160 after departure.
Almost there.
Squawk 7155, Nokia 8896.
Nokia 8896, repack correct, report, push and start.
Report push and start, Nokia 8896.
Bangkok Air 401, next is you now. Are you ready to copy?
Okay, ready to copy, Bangkok Air 401.
Bangkok Air 401, you clear to Phuket. Dorna 1 Alpha departure, runway 17. Airscon 6000, expect flight level 140, squawk 7161.
Clear Phuket, Dorna 1 Alpha departure, runway 17, initial climb 6000, expect flight level 140, squawk 7161, Bangkok Air 401.
Bangkok Air 401, repack correct, report and ready for push and start.
Okay. 7161.
Samui Tower, Bangkok Air
Enter.
259ers, stand 5, request FR clearance to Phuket, please.
Bangkok Air 259, Koh Samui Tower, 20 cars, you clear to Phuket. Dorna 1 Alpha departure, runway 17. Airscon 6000, expect flight level 140, squawk 7154.
RMS, that's good, we don't need that. Flight plan is set. No discontinuity, there is one actually.
To Phuket,
Tidos.
via Dorna 1
Combo.
Alpha departure, runway
Clear that.
17, initial climb 6000, flight level 140.
That's all looking good.
Squawk
And the arrival is ready.
7154, Bangkok Air
Performance page is
259ers.
set with the transition altitude climbing up.
Bangkok Air 259, repack correct, report.
Speeds look good, weights are set, cruise altitude is set.
Samui Tower,
Trim is
Jetstar
set.
Asia 962, request push and start, stand 7.
Jetstar Asia 962, push and start approved.
Lovely.
Ice north, QNH1009.
It's a mix of FSLTL and AIG.
QNH 1009, Jetstar Asia 960.
Need Trevor to hurry up. Bombi 1 Delta ILS 27 in Phuket. Got a slight tailwind now, 2 knots for departure at Samui. That'd be good. And actually quite light in comparison to what we have done in other flights so far as well. If you're enjoying today's live stream, folks, don't forget, give us a little like as well. Make sure you hit like and subscribe if you're new to the channel too. Pop the flight director back on and we can set LNAV arms. In fact, not yet. Not yet. Let's just wait. We'll wait till the engine's on. Phuket Tower's online now, nice. Some special nose wheel only pushbacks on GSX only. It's a great livery this on the ATR, isn't it? This Bangkok ATR livery. Love it, Danny. You probably thought, oh look, there's 7 or so arrivals at Koh Samui. I'll log on and do some ATC. Ooh, hello. Wheel chocks are active. Use the hydraulic auxiliary pump. Power management set. 1009. Transponders on above. That's set. Heading set. Altitude set 6000. Prop brake is on and guarded. Pump 2 is on. Prop brake's on and guarded. Prop brake's showing blue and cyan as well. Beacon can remain on for now because we're going to turn around and crack on. Hydraulic system loss. Find out in a minute.
Samui Tower, Jetstar Asia 962, request taxi.
Jetstar 962, taxi holding point Alpha, runway 17.
Holding point
How we
Alpha,
doing?
runway 17.
Last couple of bags. Crikey. So we're supposed to depart 14:20. Almost late.
Actually, by Alpha, line up and backtrack runway 17.
Come on, Trevor.
By Alpha, backtrack, runway 17, Jetstar Asia 962.
Better not be another thing ready. Needs to just drive off. Nice little Chinook flying overhead at the moment, real life. Mighty helicopter that. Hello, Oculus. Come on, that's got to be your cue. I hope it said 100% a moment ago. Yes! Lovely job. So he's going to get rid and move out the way. Aircraft, let's go. Main door closed. Cargo door can come closed. And the tail prop can be removed. Ground power is no longer required. She's going to set the ground pin for the pushback. And looking at the overhead panel in prep. Working from the left hand side down. Pump 1 is shown run anyway. Pump 2 is already on. We've got hotel mode active. And DC Gen 2 is on and running. Low pressure on the hydraulics. That's fine. Windshield heating is shown faulting as well at the moment. That's fine as well for now. Seatbelt signs can go on. Beacon lights signs set as required. And engine 2 bleed is active currently. John, hello. Yes, DirectX 12. Clear the master caution once more. We've got transponder, comms, radios, FMS all set. MCDU set. And the flight control panel, the FCP set 2. Koh Samui Tower, Bangkok Air 401, stand 8, request push start.
Order 401, please start the bird, face north, KNX 1009.
Push start, brew face north, QNH 1009 at Bangkok Air 401. So that's all set. Get rid of the music. Facing north, runway 17.
Release Parking brake.
Nice custom pushback there, actually makes it very easy. Chocks,
Commencing
park brake
push.
off.
All engines clear. Start at wheel.
Visual steering shows disengaged currently, and unguarded. Prop brake off.
Samui Tower, Jetstar Asia 9.
There she goes. Guard it.
Runway 17.
And fuel
Jetstar 96
condition lever engine 2 to automatic.
Runway 17 for the moment.
Low pitch.
Ultra 1, Jetstar Asia 9.
And Koh Samui Tower, Spray 2472 is ready for pushback.
You are number 2 for
We're going to go start A
Number 2, Osprey 2472.
this time.
And Knock Air 8896 ready for engine start and power back.
Sadly, David, yes.
8896, Roger. Start the push, report for push.
Engine start and we'll report for push. Knock Air 8896.
GSX 96, do you want to wait for the rest of the guys there, or are you gonna have to park?
I'm ready for departure. Jetstar Asia 962.
Yes, Asia 962, Roger. Wind variable.
We'll leave that for a moment just to save a little bit of fuel. In fact, you know what, let's start engine 1 as well, why not? NH rising. Start mode is active. Through 15. Condition lever to feather. Ah! Pressure is rising as well. NH rising, ITT rising, and MP now is rising as well. Let's now bring that up to the auto. Condition mode, single channel should now go to low pitch. Watching all the engine instruments, and that's it. Engine started, ready to go.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Alberto. Seat to Alpha.
Left is clear. Right
It's
is clear.
about time. I was about ready to ask the flight staff for another before pushback, Bloody Mary.
Not a bad thing.
Jetstar 962,
Lap
unfortunately,
15.
there's nothing for you for
Gust lock removed.
Phuket. We're still waiting for you, so once you come 122 decimal, so yeah.
1 and 2.
Over to 122,
Rear.
right, Jetstar Asia 962.
Back.
Thanks for your
Seat to
help.
Alpha, thank you very much for the tip. I love how it said bloody in such a passive aggressive way. Flight directors are on. We're going to arm nav and VNav. At Bangkok Air 401, request taxi.
Bangkok Air 401, taxi 40 point Alpha, runway 17.
Taxi hold point Alpha 17. Bangkok Air 401.
Osprey 2472.
Okay, so nav display set to 5 at the moment, that's fine as well.
After departing aircraft, continue the pushback facing
Quick
north.
check of the overhead panel, hydraulic pressure's gone
Osprey 2472.
back online, which is good. Otherwise we'd be a little bit worried, and the master cautions there have gone too. But just to be sure, we're going to recall any failures and warnings.
8896, confirm you're looking for push?
And
Yes, we're gonna be pushing
Takeoff
back with
config,
our
okay.
engines. That's a power back. Knock Air 8896.
Nicola, hello.
Roger, behind the passing Bangkok ATR, which is our first flight knock, GNH1009.
It's a lovely aeroplane, isn't it?
QNH 1009, cleared for power back. Knock Air 8896.
Yeah, clear to push.
Cleared for push, 8896.
Powerbacks aren't really a thing anymore, so they can easily confuse people. So even if I was doing a powerback, I'd just request pushback instead. Weird little textured band needs to go out the way. We'll just drive through it, I think. Why not? Speeds checked and set. FCP nav data radios all set. Power management is confirmed in takeoff mode. Bangkok Air 401 is ready for departure at Alpha.
Bangkok Air 401, do you require backtrack?
AFA.
Bangkok Air 401, clear to backtrack runway 17.
Clear backtrack 17, the Bangkok Air 401. Okay, lights and signs, all set as required. Again, no white. Auto speed is selected. But oh dear. MPS Gaming says really like the ATR72. Thanks to British Avgeek. Very nice tutorials. It's so much easier to handle the aeroplane. That's great to hear. Great to hear. It's good fun, isn't it? And it's something entirely different to the turbofan airliners that we've been enjoying for the last couple of years. Couple of bugs with, as Dan is saying, some fixes coming next week, which is nice too. James says, do I like business jets? I'm not a massive fan of them. I find them a little bit boring, if I can say that. Don't hate me if you don't agree. I just find I prefer the airliners. I always have done. John, absolutely. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Tinsy Mex, hello, says nice sector, did this in the morning UK time today, sunset over Thailand.
Bangkok Air 401, winds variable 2 knots, runway 17, good takeoff.
Runway 17, clear for takeoff, Bangkok Air 401, thanks. So, engine T's and P's all look good, control visualizer is on the screen, push for flights, control set. Set notch, power set, okay, we got the takeoff bug. That is how you fix it. Give it a little wiggle on the power management mode to MCT and back. Top tip. And then look at that change now, we've got 100% MP through 80 knots. Really important if you suddenly realise that you've got that issue. That's how you solve it, folks. P1, rotate. It's already kind of rotating itself. Do not let it go over 5 degrees until you're clear. There we go. Positive rate, gear up.
And Nokia 8896 is ready for taxi.
Nokia 8896, 60 holding point alpha, runway 17.
And turning outbound, 160 degrees to follow the flight track line.
Bangkok Air 401, there's nothing further on route. Phuket will waiting for you. Unicom 122, that's place for now. See ya.
Unicom 1228 for Bangkok Air 401. Thank you for the ATC and cheers for saying hello. Your damper.
See ya.
Autopilot. See ya. Through flaps retraction, F, and flaps up. Yeah, so we would have actually taken off a little bit earlier if it hadn't been for that slight power issue. So in takeoff mode, power management, if you notice you've got that slight issue with the MP percent, quickly, very quickly, providing you see it immediately at the start of your takeoff roll, click that power management switch up to MCT and then back to takeoff, and it will kind of rejig itself. So VNAV speed is active, LNAV is active. We're going to keep going up now to flight level 140.
Nokia 8896, do you require backtrack?
For 14,000 today.
Yes, we'll require backtrack 8896.
It might be worth, for those of you in the ATR behind me, just flick that power management switch to MCT and back again before your takeoff roll. Oh, beautiful views. Away we go. Busy, busy takeoff. Very nice. and then we just keep the power, the thrust set to notch. ...136 nautical miles, about flight time of 40 minutes this next sector. Short and sweet, lovely and scenic as well at the best of times. If we go to this view, see a bit more behind the wing. What have we got here? Let's see. Oh yes, look at that. Very good, very nice. As always, the screenshots will go on to Volanta, providing it allows them to be updated or uploaded. It does bug out sometimes and struggle with the size of the files, but otherwise they'll all go onto Discord, and again, as you guys know the drill, watch regularly. I'll pick a few. I'll put them onto Instagram, Twitter, and our Facebook page as well. Now let's go to back to Unicom. Hope you guys find that tip about the MCT thing and the power management bug. It will be fixed next week though, by the way, but I hope you find it useful for the interim for the next couple of days until that patch goes in. And resync the heading bug. Great climb out. Look at that. Really nice. So, while we're climbing, it will be worth having a little look at the charts for the arrival again, and then making sure that we've got it all tuned in. Will I fly an A320neo sometime, James? No, because there isn't one that's half decent. I think Latin VFR have made one, but it's crap, so I won't be flying it anytime soon, to be fair. Interestingly, on the Navigraph charts, I can't get the Mombu arrival actually shown, which is interesting. But that's because it's a generic one. Look, so RNAV arrivals 27 or RNAV arrivals 09. So because of the complexity and the generic nature of the two charts, we have to manually pin them. We can see in the inset here that there's a hold at Stone and Barron as well, both of which are waypoints that we'll be using today for the arrival into Phuket. And there's Mombu. So at or below 10,000 feet, 239 degrees for 10 miles to Stone, max 230 knots, 8,000 feet at or below, and then Cider at and above 5,000 feet, and then Barron at or below 3,000 feet. At that point we'll be turning in. We've got that offset ILS approach, haven't we, here? So we need to tune in the Phuket VOR 116.9. We also then have to tune the ILS frequencies in as well. So 109.9 for both nav 1 and 2. Nicola, hello. Course 267 degrees for the final approach course, and it's an offset localizer again. So it's like Innsbruck, where it takes us in on a different direction to that of the runway heading. So it's slightly offset. So we have to bear that in mind for the approach. The missed approach for this arrival is climb straight ahead through 10,000 feet, landing lights off. We're going to go standard pressure as well. Climb straight ahead to 2,500 feet, then turn right, direct to 7 DME from the threshold of the runway, or 6.9 DME from the Phuket VOR at 2,500 feet and hold as directed by ATC. So that's that hold here, this this little racetrack here, that's the missed approach hold. So we'll follow runway heading for a little bit, climb up, then back on ourselves all the way back to that little triangle where we'll intercept and enter the hold. From there we'll basically fly back out and then round and fly like a mid-hold entry. It should be fine. Arriving into Phuket, runway 27 makes it nice and easy. We'll be able to vacate at Echo, straight onto the apron, or even Bravo down the end if we want to be super efficient. And then we're going to be parking up on a remote stand, I believe it was. Doc's prescribed us. Almost at cruise already. Let's see, I'm just trying to find that. So, gate 3, Doc says. And again, we've got a custom GSX profile for this one. So gate 3 actually, it'd be efficient for us to vacate at Echo. Having a look here on the charts again. If we vacate at Echo onto apron Charlie, it's literally the third remote stand here at apron Bravo to park at, which is nice and easy. So that's the plan. Minimums for the ILS approach category B aircraft is 540. So we're going to tune that in. Scrolling MDA up. 540. And then in nav we can go in and set the frequencies that we were just discussing a moment ago. First, we're going to reset heading mode. Keeping an eye on the power management here. We'll go to the climb gate in a moment, or the climb mode. And then VILS, we're going to want 11. Oh, I've done it again. 1169 for the VOR. And I'm going to tune 1099, which is the ILS frequency for the approach. On to nav 1 and 2. So we can have both standby active at the minute, whichever you prefer. 1169. So for now we'll have nav 1 active, which is the Phuket VOR. There's nothing else for us to really kind of tune. Cruise. Minimum set. ILS is set. We'll do the course before we establish. And that's it. We're going to accelerate to our sort of cruise speed now. Start and abort. I was just thinking, why is that arrow on? That shouldn't be on. Tomorrow, for those of you who missed the start, as we were discussing it then, we're going to be flying the PMTG737800, a really nice TUI UK livery for a flight out to Corfu from Manchester. So departing Mako Simulations Manchester, we're going to fly to Fly Tampa's Corfu, which on the old PC really struggled on the frames, certainly loading in the entire island, because it's the whole island that is modelled in addition to the airport with animated ships and things as well. We're going to test it out flying in at 4K on the 4090 RTX and put the system to the test. We'll see what happens. A couple of hours to chill in the cruise with that one as well, that would be quite nice. And again, it's another real world route that's operated by Thompson, as it was, now TUI. Tinsy says also, watch out at Phuket, looks like there is some weather over there. Let's have a look at the METAR VTSP in the live chat. Looks alright, winds variable at 2 knots, all the 9s, few clouds, 2,000 feet. So the temperature is 26 degrees Celsius and the dew point 25 degrees Celsius. That suggests to me, with a spread of only 1 degree between the air temperature and the saturation with the dew point, the air is quite saturated. So I would expect some decreasing visibility there, I think. So yeah, we might get maybe some fog, something like that if it got to that point. Wind's variable at 2 knots, if it's just a bit of sea fog just sitting there near the airport perhaps. Find out when we get there. QNH 1008. So same as before, the VNAV, no, is it on performance? Trying to remember now. Performance, here we go. 1008 and the transition level. .130, which is already set. Good afternoon, Ron. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Captain Erling, welcome on board to you as well. I can't remember if I just said welcome on board. Thanks for subscribing. I've still got an element of night shift brain fog going on. Hello, Kevin. Good afternoon. Ron's asking, is this an aeroplane that's difficult to learn? Not particularly, to be fair. Certainly, if you're used to flying the CRJ, I think you can maybe adapt some of the rules around flying that into learning and operating the ATR. If you have missed it though, Ron, I have created an ATR tutorial series on the channel. It's available on the website as well, BritishAvGeek.com, under the ATR tutorials tab, and there's a dedicated playlist for it on the channel too for ATR tutorials for this add-on in MSFS. Currently we're up to episode 6. Is that you, Zato? It says whatever you do, don't look above, but I can't see anything above. I can see him. Right there. Chasing us down. So, as we mentioned before, doesn't always do it. We flew at flight number 190 before, so we ended up having a cruise at about 210 knots, which is mighty slow, really. But we're cruising along now. It's settled in notch still at 225 knots. So even though the auto speed wants us at 245, that's because it's going for the maximum cruise speed. We can't actually achieve that without taking the power, the power setting out of notch and maybe advancing it to like 80%. Or even into ramp, which we don't want to do in the cruise. So 225 is pretty much the norm. That's certainly more than suitable for a speed. Ground speed of 291 knots, so half that of a 737 effectively in the cruise. I do find myself enjoying this aircraft more and more. Jesus. Are you in the Dash 8, Zato? How fast does that thing cruise? My god. Zipping along. Yeah, that's quite quick. Crikey, David, that's cool to know. So David's saying in Vancouver, Dash 8s get to use the jet standard instrument departures because they're too fast for the prop ones. So I suppose then, how would that transfer into, say, like Manchester? You've got the Samba 1 Romeo and then the Listo 1 Yankee departure, is it? Which is prop only. Does the Dash 8 use the jet one in that? Doc's passing 10,000, good effort. Great to have you flying along this evening, Doc. I know it's late for you. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying it. Only doing 270 knots. That's quite quick. Well, he's literally up there now. We don't need speed in this. El Bapino, hello to you. It's been a while. I hope you're well. TC, good afternoon. No, I don't remember that in the docs either, David, to be fair. But it has made me wonder. All of the screenshots failed to upload. Fantastic. Standard Volanta business. We'll have a quick look at that. So our routing out of Bangkok Suvarnabhumi Airport, ran that marathon taxi out of Bangkok, over the coast, and then down to Koh Samui. We hand flew the entire arrival actually, or the entire approach from Phuket, which is near that Koh Phangan island there, because it kind of bulked out a little bit. And then our departure, we hand flew the first little bit, outbound 160 degrees away from the island, climbing away. And then VNAV LNAV active, yaw damper on, autopilot on, and then away we go in this, the departure out to Dorna. Dock on board there, Bangkok Air 259 in the ATR76. Turbo Stig, Osprey 2472 and another ATR. Zato zooming along in the Dash 8, knock 8896, and then ourselves. See Amjad there as well. And Jetstar 962 is already ahead of us. Which I think might have been... Who was that? Was that Gav? Can't remember. He's in the A320, zipping along. Look at that. It's managed to upload one screenshot out of all of them. That's good, isn't it? I know they're 4K screenshots, but it does struggle remarkably. Top of descent coming up already, and we've also got tower online at Phuket. So 1181, we've got to put that into the comms section. What was it? 1181. 1181. Don't worry about the decimal. Type it in, hit enter. And I'm going to set 6,000 for now, just to see what it does. Flight level 60. I'm going to leave it in VNAV, because I want to see what it does with the top of descent. I know VNAV is a bit buggy at the moment, but I'm curious. Zato screenshots. Explain graphics. Oh, good GSX. Hey, the Dash 8 looks fantastic in Nock Air paint, doesn't it? And it's actually managed to update all but one screenshot for us now. I'll keep trying. I'm determined. Zato, nice. Fly J Sim, right? Okay, there goes the VNAV. I'm going to bring the throttles down as well to kind of try and equalise or hold 230-ish knots. You find that you go to manual, but right at the bottom of that green gauge, because we're in flight idle now, so the idle gate is actually there, where it says FI, flight idle. So it's an entirely different setting to GI, which is the ground idle power setting, which is when we pull that out. So that's why it's important to push that in for departure. But it also means that your flight idle is a lot higher. And we've got the throttle set just a tiny bit above flight idle. Curious to see how good the VNAV is. We'll set down to flight level 30. It's actually 3,000 feet, but in fact 2,500 for the ILS. Power management will flick that back. It's actually slightly out. Yeah, no, damn, that's correct. So VATSIM is the network we all connect to fly together, but you can be on X-Plane, P3D, FSX, Microsoft Flight Simulator, doesn't matter, but we can connect all to the same place, which is quite cool. Barrow, my god. 1008 wasn't it for the QNH? Metar VTSP, we'll get the data again. It's information Bravo. Yeah, not a fan of VNAV. Let's control the descent ourselves. So QNH set, MDA is set. We're going to get nav modes ready. 1099. Phuket traffic. Bangkok Air401 is inbound Stone. Bobby 1 Delta expecting ILS 27, changing frequency to Phuket Tower 118.1. Mad Rabbit, thank you buddy. Very kind of you. Com is 1181, we got that set. And then nav, we have those ready. I'm going to bring the range ring in. I'm going to go to proper idle now.
Cheers on the
So flight idle.
Weekend.
It's going to help decelerate us a fair bit as well. Goju, hello. What's the wrong with the VNAV at the moment? It's a bit broken. It's certainly in descent, in climb, sorry, it's fine. In descent, it's a bit messy. Certainly on approach, it's even worse. The general consensus and recommendation is do not use VNAV for an RNAV approach. You need to use vertical speed mode and kind of work around some of the bugs and quirks. But Goju, it is fixed in time for an update coming next week. It was actually fixed before the release, but because of the way Microsoft package everything, it meant that they didn't have it in time. For the way that they test everything and package it all up, even though they had it a week, 2 weeks prior to the release of the add-on. If that makes sense. $1,500 per minute. Graham, hello to you. How's the weather in Phuket? It's there we go. It's in the live chat. Wind's variable at 2 knots, all the 9s, so fairly decent visibility. Few cloud as we can see here at 2,000 feet. Looks quite nice though. Temperature in the dew point very close though, 26/25, and the QNH 1008. Look at that. Lovely. Oh yeah, Mike S, vertical speed mode very, very much bugs out, which is what happened on the RNAV approach. We had to take over. If in doubt, you might find that sometimes it will just violently continue to pitch down through what you've set as an altitude target. At that point, you need to kind of press Alt-Hold, so it levels off at the altitude you're at, and that kind of kicks the brain back in a little bit. Let's see. Good. Final couple of views from the outside before we make our way in. How are we doing? 3,000 or above. The more I fly this, the more I enjoy it. Ken, hello buddy. Thanks for flying along. I hope you enjoyed it. Jetstar Asia 962. Okay, at this point now, we're going to press push sync for heading mode, enter heading mode. I'm going to go VILS1, we're going to pop the ILS frequencies active and check the courses, because you can see now it says 360, that's wrong. So, we have to change this to course 267. And then we're going to flick to VILS2, check it matches. It does. ILS 1 and 2, 1099, course 267, 15 miles. Let's keep the rate of descent coming. Yeah, lots of terrain.
Q400 fully established on
VNAV approach speed, activate. Flight plan mode.
8896 Phuket Tower สวัสดีครับ Wind variable 2 knots runway 27 runway
Starting the turn.
clear to land.
My god.
27 cleared land, knock air 8896.
2-4, keeping an eye. Oh, it's already moving. So approach mode is active. May have overcooked the turn here. I have. We'll let it move back round. Hopefully we can get it in time. Lock mode is active though. Just going to go back to heading select mode just to push it back on here to the ILS. And then lock active again. And there's the offset approach. So we've got the runway there. The offset approach is going to take us actually kind of down that straight line, this around to the right hand side of this little hill, which is why it's an offset approach, as Doc has pointed out there. We're currently at 12 miles. Phuket Tower, Saudi Crab, Bangkok Air 401 with information Bravo, 11 miles established ILS, runway 27.
Bangkok Air 401 Phuket Tower สวัสดีครับ continue approach runway 27.
The approach runway 27, Bangkok Air 401. Oh, it's Mike says ATR's brilliant, I'm hooked, but they need to fix the VNAV and the FSMC bugs. They are fixed in next week's update, I can tell you that much, which is nice. I've had really good conversations with Hans, the developer. Oh, it is 2.5 actually, is what we want. Glide slope's now active. Through 170 we can extend flat 15. And we're going to move back to flight idle. Get rid of the music again. Got a habit of leaving that on a lot, haven't I? Watching the speed trickle down as we're monitoring the aeroplane in our final descent. And I'm just going to fire up Sky Dolly for you guys so we get to replay this one. Should be quite interesting. Control visualizer, gear extension, lowering speed is 170 knots. We're below that. Gear down. 6 miles. For 150, we're going to go flap 30. Really important. So look how compressed this all is timing wise. Now through 145. We're only at 5 miles now. Full flaps. So flap 30.
8896 vacated via Echo.
Look at that offset approach.
8896, Roger. Taxi stand number 3 via Papa.
Still decelerating.
The stand 3 via Papa, knock air 8896, thank you.
Bangkok Air 401, wind variable 2 knots. Actually, wind calm, runway 27, clear to land.
Runway 27, cleared land, Bangkok Air 401. Hello Neil, welcome. Little bit of fly with Magna action indeed. I sat for about 2 hours at work the other day just absorbing everything he had on his channel to kind of try and learn the ATR as quickly as I could prior to its release. Little bit of trimming. Power's looking okay.
Phuket Tower, very good evening. Osprey 2472 is with you, overhead stern, expecting ILS runway 27.
Osprey 2472, Phuket Tower, สวัสดีครับ report ILS established.
500 minimum.
We'll report when established on the ILS for Osprey 2472.
Your damper's disengaged. Keeping an eye on the speed. kind of hard to hold
200.
the speed I want exactly, so you end up kind of feathering between the speed you want and one slightly above.
50. 40. 30.
Holding that flare.
20. 10.
Touchdown. Stick forward, get a little bit of weight on the nose wheel. And I'm just letting the aeroplane decelerate now through 80 knots. A little bit of brakes. No stress. Trying to look at my other screen as well. Bit of multitasking. I've never been good at that. 50 knots. High speed exit coming up at Echo. Speed's good for that. And then top left of your screen is our touchdown. Bangkok Air 401 is vacating at Echo, request gate 3.
Bangkok Air 401, welcome to Phuket. Taxi stand 01 via Papa. Have a good night.
Stand 01 via Papa, and thanks to the ATC. Bangkok Air 401, good night. Handling by knock. Okay, so flight idle's done. Bring the flaps in. Feather engine number 1. Going to leave engine 1 on idle at the moment because we're going to use Sky Dolly to refresh everything. And Orbx Phuket. With a little bit of GSX VTGS magic. Stopped. Let's see. Interesting. Prop brake failure. So I'm going to stop the flight on New Sky. Engine change, external power state change.
And Phuket Tower, spread 247.
Oh yeah, that's a good shout.
For runway 27.
Osprey 2472, roger. Wind calm, runway 27, clear to
Yes,
land.
gust lock, that's why.
Winds calm, clear to land, Osprey 2472.
It's a bit better. Let's watch some touchdowns very briefly. So, close the flight. Oh, 9.94 off centerline landing deviation. God damn it. I thought that was an okay touchdown as well. Oh well. So stop the recording. Not bad on the parking. We don't want follow aircraft because we want to watch a replay. How many have we got flying in there? No, we've got this, we've got Ian, we've got Doc. I think that's it, right? Orbx Phuket. Not looking as tasty as I've remembered, actually. Interestingly enough. Cool, so we are ready. It does look a bit dreary. A bit kind of, yeah, a bit lacking. I remember when we flew into this originally, we flew in on its release, albeit on my old computer. And it's a beautiful part of the world, but it doesn't look that mega, does it? All of a sudden in 4K/2K on your side. Tower. The tower looks okay. Here we go. So we've got Ian, then Doc, following the pack in. Doc would be proud, I remember to say Saudi Crub. Can you play Tropic Love Diviners with your epidemic bops? Tropic Love Diviners. Let me find out, see if it's in the library. No, it's not in there. Hitesh, no, I don't need Google texture map mod, the mesh stuff. Oh, fantastic landing. That was an absolute whopper. Holding the nose wheel up, letting it settle. Osprey pilots are sheer professionals. I think that's the nicest ATR landing we've seen for a long time. Including mine as well. How about Lovely Coming to Get You? Where are these songs from? I am searching for it. Oh, I can see Lovely Coming to Get You. What else is there? And the other one you said as well, Tropic Love Diviners.
Okay, Tower Saudi Cup, Bangkok Air2590, localize the runway 27.
Here comes Doc prescribing an ILS-27 approach.
Continue approach runway 27.
Continue approach runway 27, Bangkok Air.
I found them both, Doc.
Osprey 2472, welcome to Phuket.
Oh, it's Mike. So a lot of aircraft, as you land, you don't want to plant the nose wheel down real quick. You want to just let it settle. Right, let's go. Lovely Coming to Get You. Diviners, Tropic Love. Yeah, we don't have the other one.
259er, wind calm, runway 27, clear to land.
Runway 27 clear to land, Bangkok Air 259er.
Where is he? There he is. Centre of the screen, starting to come into view. El Benja, hello to you, welcome. Ian's down, Doc's about to touch down. Last one in. And then we've got Sky Dolly for replay. Wind variable at 2 knots, you can see the windsock there. Kind of just sat static, floating. Yeah, oh yeah, so it's centre of the screen. If I zoom out, can't really see it all that well, but you can just see the lights there, where the cursor is. And he'll be rendering in a second, at least properly, where we can see the plane. And then we'll run some cabin replays. And we'll watch our replay as well of a landing from here too. He's almost in view. I'll zoom in on him when he does appear. I can't see him at the minute, I can just see like a tiny light, which is right there on the tip of the cursor. In fact, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Looking quite nice. The offset approach makes it a little bit trickier. How many times has Doc flown the ATR? Oh, VATSIM's being a bit weird. Oh, look at that. Absolute whopper. That's basically the VATSIM network. Sometimes their system tries to play catch up with where the position of the aeroplane is. So it can just be a little slow at times. That's what that is. So, for those of you who are flying along, parked over there rather nicely in an organised fashion, I'm just going to go to observer mode so I don't start pinging around doing crazy stuff on the tower controller's display, and we shall fire up a replay of our own landing as well with Sky Dolly.
Bangkok Air 259, welcome to Phuket. Taxi stand 04. Okay. Yes. Okay. Taxi stand 04 via Papa.
Taxi stand 4 via Papa, Bangkok Air 259.
Bangkok Air 401, thanks for the ATC.
Have a good one.
Yep.
For flying in.
So, I can still see everybody. I'm just reconnecting now as a VATSIM observer instead, so we can't hear. We can hear stuff still. They can't see us, and therefore we don't impact people or cause any confusion for tower either. Vera, thank you very much for the ATC. Really appreciate it. It's very, very kind of you giving us the time. I'm going to hit play now on the replay. Need to turn prop brake and stuff off. Did I turn new sky off? I did, good. It's a bit late to check. Strobe.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Lovely job. Okay, this is our replay. And then we're going to get a replay from the passenger's point of view as well. At least the gear's down. Not sure if the flaps, yeah, flaps are shown out. Don't want that on 100. SkyDolly doesn't always record the state of the aircraft properly, so you end up with a little bit of a messy config. It doesn't remember both engines are on, where the position of the condition levers are, the lights, any of that. So you kind of have to fiddle around with it somewhat yourself. Looking quite nice and smooth though, on profile. Over the threshold now, starting to flare. A little early on the flare there. And there we go. I'm very happy with that. That looked good. And there's the nose wheel. Decelerating nicely. Looking snazzy. Let's dive into this view, because that always looks quite good. So we're going to pause, zip back, and we can get some nice views of the arrival here. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in as well today. Everyone who has hit the like button. Those of you who've decided to subscribe to the channel today as well. If perhaps you've tuned in for the very first time, it's great to have you on board with us. And Seat2 Alpha and Mad Rabbit as well for your super chats and your tips. This is SkyDolly giving us the replay. It's available on flightsim.to. Touchdown imminent. Bingo. Passengers wouldn't have even noticed. Tomorrow we're heading out of Manchester, Mako Simulations Manchester, for a flight in the PMDG 737-800, flying TUI on one of their real routes out to Corfu, wonderful island of Corfu, designed and created as a payware scenery in conjunction with the airport itself by Fly Tampa. So the airport is rendered and really wonderfully detailed, but Fly Tampa have also then created a rather nice island-wide enhancement, so to speak, which immerses the kind of the arrival quite nicely as well. We zip that forwards to our arrival on stand. We'll have brakes, hot warnings and all sorts of stuff. Just slot engaged, that's pulled, park brakes set. Hot brake blue. Jolly good. Aircraft. Chocks, door. Seatbelt signs. Beacon can go off. Overhead panel looks all good. That's all set. GSX. Disembark.
Phuket Tower, spreadsheet for 72, signing off. Thanks very much for the ATC tonight. Good job.
Thanks for coming in. Have a good night.
Quickly grab a screenshot before he logs off. There we are, that was good timing. While GSX is loading, yeah, look at this. This is Phuket, Phuket Airport.
Passengers bus is coming.
I've got the sim in 4K now. The adverts are quite nice. It is kind of how I remember it. These textures are very nice actually, the reflection on the metal there. That's quite nice. Then we've got the new terminal as well. Alright, that's very basic. Ugh. Yeah. Pretty gnarly actually. Not that great at all. Airside, same story. Immensely pixelated. Look at that. I don't remember it being that bad. Crikey. I mean, some of the textures here are really nice, but it's very low res in other areas. Glass, a bit washed out, a bit green. Whether it's like that or not in real life, I can't remember. I did a bit of research when we first had a little look. I can't remember what it does actually look like, but a little bit underwhelming actually revisiting Phuket for the first time in a while. Nevertheless, we dropped the punters off at the end of our journey today. 2 sectors: Bangkok, Suvarnabhumi Airport to Koh Samui, then onwards to Phuket. Join us tomorrow, don't miss out. Same time as always, maybe a tiny weeny bit earlier. Depending on when I have to pick the missus up or drop her off, etc. I think it'll still be 1 o'clock UK time, 1200 UTC for tomorrow's live stream in that PMDG 737 for our TUI Ops to Corfu as we head out there to grab some souvlaki and some wonderful Greek food and a couple of cocktails in the sun. Thanks for flying along, folks. Hit like and subscribe before you shoot off, and thank you to our ATC controllers today as well, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for watching, and until tomorrow, Rab, indeed, take care and enjoy the rest of the day. See ya.
Station Phuket Tower closing now. We want to say someone to do this side. Good night.